Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to some more World of Warships, and today we are saying goodbye to the Tier 6 USN Destroyer, the Farragut. And I know it was a quick run I've had with the Farragut. I've actually quickly went through the Farragut, but we're going to go ahead and show off how it is going to be once you have her fully upgraded. So let's actually go ahead and start taking a look at the stats. So after you get the second hull, you get 11,500. I probably should mention right now, we'll go ahead and talk about this right now. I did not go for the additional sea hull. So this will be a little bit different if you go for the sea hull. The only major difference is you get 2 additional AA mounts, but you lose a main turret. I opted to keep my main turret in for the fact that I rather have additional gun versus additional AA. Does boost your AA up to 24 instead of 20. So yeah, you're a little bit better defending yourself, but anyways, I'm gonna stick with the B hull. So 11,500, a little bit better, not much change. Guns have stayed the same. Probably the major difference is the additional range is 12.6 kilometers, reload time is 4 seconds, HE damage is 1,800, and AP is 2,100. Torpedoes have actually extended out to 6.4 kilometers. They are 64 knots, and they do 11,733 points of damage with a 88-second reload. So that's something to keep in mind. AA defense, once again, really has not changed too terribly much. I believe the additional hull does grant you a little bit more AA. As you can see there, you swap out for higher grade. So you do have 2 single 12.7. Range is 1.2 kilometers. Damage is 8. Then you have 2 single 20 millimeters. Range is 2 kilometers. Damage is 7. So quite miserable. And then your guns work as additional AA. Not that overly impressive for a destroyer, but it's a tier 6. Eventually, the USN destroyers will get better AA. Maneuverability is a little bit better. Additional hull does reduce the rudder shift time down to 2.7 seconds, so you're a little bit more nimble. So you're able to move around. Concealment really hasn't changed either, 7.3. Once you get a 10-point captain, I think it drops down to 6.9. Something like that, 6.8, something around in that range. So once you do actually have a captain, I'm going to have to train up this captain eventually. I just haven't got around to it because I'm working obviously on my normal captain that I have on my USN destroyers. So that's actually going to be it. I believe I've already talked about the skills, what you probably should go for. So, yep, we're going to go ahead and jump into replay. I will see you guys there. Oh shit, I think I have to do the end slate. Alright everyone, welcome back to a replay in the Farragut, and this ship, I've actually kind of grown accustomed to it, and I am starting to enjoy it, and I'm kind of glad I'm going to be able to keep the ship for pretty much the rest of the time that I'd be playing this game. And we are currently playing on Northern Lights. There is a North Carolina, Turbot's, Colorado, Gneisenau, Edinburgh, Shores, Cleveland, Grosbe, Benson, Moss, Kiev, and a Farragut on our team. On the enemy team, there's a North Carolina, Bismarck, Gneisenau, Scharnhorst, New Mexico, Mogami, Stores, Cleveland, Grosbe, Benson, Akatsuki, and a enemy Farragut. Now, we are currently playing standard battle, so obviously there are no official capture points we have to get. Obviously, we can capture the enemy base, but that's besides the point. So I am moving down towards Destroyer Alley. Actually, there's 2 Destroyer Alleys. So I'm going to move down here and try to at least prevent any destroyers that are going to be moving up here. Now, I am bottom tier, which is not something you always want to see whenever you get into a game. It kind of sucks, but even bottom tiers can do a really good job, and this game is probably one of those good examples. So, I'm still learning the USN destroyer line. I am not perfect. I will admit this. I'm still learning. It's something I really do have to get more accustomed to. But the Farragut has grown on me, and I'm glad to actually have her finally fully upgraded. 6.4 kilometer torpedoes are such a benefit, and my captain, being a good 14-point captain, actually gives me the additional concealment expert, so it's always beneficial. Now, Grass Bay does pop up with a New Mexico Gneisenau in the stores, and it looks like they are pushing out east, which I highly recommend never do. Very rarely do you actually want to push out east in between the 9 and 10 line. It really does take you out of the battle, and it's just something you never really want to do. Now, I do not really want to open fire. I do start laying down a smoke screen to see if I can help my friendly team. We do have a cruiser that has beached himself on that island just a little northwest of us. So I'm going to see if I can try to help out with my smoke screen. Now, we are at least kind of giving away our position, since obviously there's a smoke screen suddenly appearing. That means if they're smart enough, they're going to realize there's a destroyer there. I do slow up and open fire on the stores. Now, the only downside of my smoke screen, it does actually prevent the Gneisenau, the Bismarck, and the Grosschrei from being detected. But at the same time, it is at least protecting my friendlies. And the stores is probably having a bad day. We do get a fire on him. And I just now realize that the HE damage is pretty decent against a Russian cruiser such as the stores. And we do land 2 more fires on that stores. And it does look like he is going to burn for a little while. And fortunately, he does disappear. So I'm switch my attention over to the Bismarck. But I'm going to actually see if I can get in between these islands and onto the other side as quick as I can. I want to see if I can surprise these ships that are pushing over there with a torpedo run. I'm still debating whether or not to fire. And I think it's a good idea to at least try to push in there as quick as I can. Now, we do know there's at least 4 ships moving that way. We know there's a Gneisenau, a Grosschrei, a Bismarck, and a Stores. And like I said, do not recommend ever doing this, even in standard battle or even in domination. Do not do this. It's still a silly idea to push out D. And oh boy, there's a fighter going up 4 kilometers away. Oh, I wonder who it is. Oh, it's the Gneisenau. That is one battleship I do not want to see. He does land a big hit on us. Gneisenau is a battleship I don't want to see because Gneisenau actually has torpedoes. So he can actually torpedo us if he is able to. But we are able to get our torpedoes off, and we are able to land 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 torpedoes. 1 devastating strike. But at the exact same time, the Grosschrei is firing at us. But do keep in mind, 1 torpedo actually missed the Gneisenau. And we actually land a hit on the enemy Grosschrei. So all my torpedoes actually landed target without it really meaning to, which is highly amusing. But right now, I am just trying to get away. Fortunately for us, the Grosschrei has very high dispersion, and we're able to at least escape with 1,942 points of health, which is lucky because there was that Bismarck. The stores also came around. Yes, we were able to get away, and I am going to motor my way as quick as possible back towards the other side. Now, our friendly team has pushed quite heavily on the western hand side and is actually combating the enemy team down south, actually kind of close to their base. Now, do open fire on this Grosschrei. This Grosschrei is not really looking at us. I'm not overly concerned about the Grosschrei, since the Grosschrei does have essentially the guns of a Scharnhorst, and only 2 of them. It's not likely he's gonna pose. Not likely he's actually going to pose a major threat to us. Now, the Scharnhorst is in a brawling with a Tirpitz, which is something you really don't want to do because the Scharnhorst torpedoes are aren't that great. They really aren't. And a Tirpitz has an additional gun and also has bigger shells. So Sean Horse is just dead. Does go down to the friendly Tirpitz. Very, very nice. I do point out on the map that there are those 4 ships out east. So that's something to keep in mind. But our friendly team is pushing into their cap. They've taken out one of their battleships. I believe they're also dealing with a pesky destroyer as well. But our team is doing a really fantastic job. We've taken out 4 of their ships, 3 of their battleships, 1 destroyer, and we've yet to lose a battle or a ship yet. So that is very, very nice. Now the Grush Spray is actually starting to push south, which probably means that the friendly ships on their team is actually going to start returning to the base, which is actually a smart thing to do. Obviously, your base is in danger from being overrun by enemy ships, so you should actually return. So, gotta be careful. I am low on health. I can't do what I did before, where I just ran right into a Gneiss now and torped him. Took a lot of damage in that run, so I do have to be a little bit more cautious than I was before. And we do have a friendly Edinburgh and Cleveland kind of sitting around helping, and it looks like the Edinburgh does take a hit from the enemy shores. I'm assuming that's probably the shores. It's hard to tell, unfortunately. It looks like it's triplets of each shot. But the Cleveland has launched his spottercraft, and we can see that the Bismarck's actually pushing south, but the enemy New Mexico is actually pushing back north. Can you guess what's about to happen? Now, we do see the shores also is low on health. The Grush Bay is moving south. And this New Mexico is moving north with possibly the intent of attacking. I mean, I kind of understand because the New Mexico is actually a fairly slow battleship. It was the second to last one of the Dreadnought era. I think the Colorado, as far as like the Tier 7, is like a Dreadnought. So they're not a very fast battleship. Obviously, until you get to North Carolina, where you can actually get some decent speed. So the New Mexico essentially is, I'm not turning around, I'm going forward. Unfortunately for us, we do lose our Turbits. Very first kill for the enemy team, so they have gained some points from us. And the Edinburgh's trying to help the Cleveland. I am trying to launch torpedoes. I'm keeping in mind where our friendly cruisers are, but we should be fine. The Cleveland is pushing out. He's keeping angled, which is smart, which is very, very nice. I was hoping to at least assist my friendlies with smokescreen, but it looks like they are just going to push out. New Mexico does turn in, so he should actually take a few torpedoes. Looks like one of our torpedoes did hit the island, and I think he probably sees the torpedoes. How many torpedoes is this New Mexico going to take? Looks like 3, 4, 5. 5 torpedoes. Puts him down at 6,000 points of health. And he has now healed his flooding, which is preventing him from catching fire. But he has a Cleveland and a Edinburgh just wailing on him. Very little this New Mexico is able to do. And any moment now, he should actually probably go down. Yeah, there's not much this New Mexico can do. It'd be nice to get the kill. Can we get the kill? That would be fantastic. Our guns are opening fire. And unfortunately, the Edinburgh does get the kill. So very good job. But we've done 131,659 points of damage and 13 torpedo hits. Always fantastic. Always fun to see. Actually get 13 torpedo hits with a U.S. Destroyer. Not saying that never happens, but it's not usually what they go for. But the enemy team is in a very damning place right now. They only have 4 ships left on the team. 2 of their cruisers are very low health. They're definitely half health. The Stores is very low on health. The Megami is actually full on health. I haven't seen the Megami probably since this entire... I think he actually came from the west side. But if they lose a couple of their ships, they'll lose the match, or if we finish capturing, they'll lose the match. So not really much they can do. That's why I said going out east like they did was a very silly idea, but there's not much they can do. Gonna open fire on this Bismarck. We're gonna get a few hits, but this is actually gonna be it for this match. So I'll see you in the victory screen. So our team earned a victory, and we earned 287,129 silver, 4,925 XP, and 247 free XP, and we earned devastating strike. We did 135,222 points of damage, 108 shell hits, and 13 torpedo hits, which is just downright fantastic. 1 incapacitation, 1 kill, 4 fires, and 8 floods. We earned top of the team with a base XP of 1,601. We did 58,000 against the enemy Gneisenau, around 38,000 against New Mexico, around 18 against the Stores, and around 12,000 against the Grass Bay. So yes, very exciting game, very high damaging game, which is something you don't always get to see too much unless your team just completely potatoes and then you have to carry. So this was very fun and exciting game. So after everything was said and done, we brought home 212,979. So very lucrative game right there. And I am excited to move on to the Mahan. I'm looking forward to moving into the higher tiered shores. We'll see how this goes. So this is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zai Jen.